tricks and the musicians for this one, bruh. They have signed Angel Reese in the middle of the damn season, bruh. This is the middle of the season. I have personally not watched any of the Unrivaled. We know that their viewership has reached an all-time low, and them going to get Angel Reese is a desperate measure to try to save.
Angel Reese just walked away from the WNBA. Not retired, not taking a break. She's done. And the shockwaves from her decision are tearing through women's basketball right now because this isn't some carefully planned exit strategy. This is a mid-career meltdown that nobody saw coming, and the reasons behind it might expose cracks in the league that nobody wants to talk about. So buckle up, because what you're about to hear is going to change everything you thought you knew about Angel Reese, the WNBA, and the future of women's basketball.
I've been noticing about Angel, I gotta be honest, that she been real quiet lately. She ain't been in a whole bunch of drama. She ain't been in a whole bunch of just other stuff that she normally be in. Seemed like she kind of toned her image down somewhat. Probably would be helpful for her. She haven't been doing a whole lot of stuff that I've seen online.
Let's rewind to just a few months ago. Angel Reese was on top of the world. Rookie season with the Chicago Sky, putting up numbers that had people comparing her to legends. The rivalry with Caitlin Clark was generating more attention for women's basketball than the sport had seen in decades. Sold-out arenas, record viewership, endorsement deals pouring in. This was supposed to be the golden era, and Angel was one of the faces leading the charge. But somewhere between the highlight reels and the Instagram posts, something broke. And now she's walking away from it all, leaving fans, teammates, and the entire league scrambling to figure out what the hell.
An hour ago, making it official that she is signing back. Now, reports were starting to come out yesterday that Angel Reese could be making a return to Unrivaled. They said the biggest and the baddest is back. Rose in the chat. So Angel Reese returns to Team Rose. Now, I'm interested to know the
just happened. The announcement came out of nowhere. No press conference, no heartfelt Instagram post with a perfectly curated photo, just a statement through her representatives that hit like a bomb. I am done with this league. 5 words that sent the basketball world into chaos. Social media exploded. Fans were confused, angry, heartbroken. Sports analysts were rushing to get her on the phone, trying to make sense of a decision that seemed to contradict everything Angel had worked for her entire life. Because this isn't just about one player leaving. This is about what...
It seemed like she did like a media run at the beginning of the year, at the beginning of this Unrivaled calendar year, pretty much detailing that she wasn't going to come back, you know, from what I picked up on. Now, this is a report from Yahoo Sports.
What it represents. When one of your brightest young stars quits in the middle of what should be her prime, that's not a personal decision. That's a symptom of something much bigger. Now, let's talk about what we know and what we can piece together from the wreckage. Angel Reese has been unusually quiet over the past few months. For someone who built her brand on being bold, outspoken, and unapologetically herself, the silence was deafening. No drama, no viral moments, no headlines. She was running her podcast, sure, but even that felt different. Subdued, like she was going through the motion.
That came out about an hour ago. Like I stated, all of this information is coming out. It says WNBA star Reese will return to Unrivaled to defend the championship. So you mean to tell me she could just skip the rest of the season and as her team get to the play?
But the fire was gone. People noticed, but most of us wrote it off as maturity. We thought she was evolving, toning down the controversial stuff, becoming more professional. Turns out we were watching someone slowly disconnect from the thing they loved. And none of us caught it until it was too late. Here's where it gets complicated. Angel's resignation from the WNBA comes right in the middle of the Unrivaled drama. You know, that 3-on-3 league that Breanna Stewart and Nafisa Collier.
WNBA star Angel Reese is returning to Unrivaled on Wednesday. The Miami-based 3-on-3 basketball league announced Reese would be coming back for her second season for initially opting out not to play. She is rejoining Team Rose, the team she helped win Unrivaled.
Started with all these grand promises about giving WNBA players a domestic option during the off-season. Angel was part of the inaugural season. She dominated. MVP, championship, the whole package. Then she opted out of season 2, which raised some eyebrows, but didn't seem like a major crisis. Players sit out off-season, leagues, all the time. But then something changed. Unrivaled's viewership tanked, like historic low numbers. And suddenly, they're pulling out every trick in the book to save their sinking ship. And guess who they came calling for? Angel Reese.
Explicit, like, bring you to Miami. She later added in the inbox this Rose jersey. Hey, yo, what's wrong with you? Steady here, Reese rejoining Rose is made possible by a recent 3-way trade. Wow. But, okay, let me see this. So she did a 3-way trade, the second in the league history.
They orchestrated this whole 3-way trade situation to bring her back mid-season. It was messy. It was desperate. It reeked of league intervention rather than organic basketball decisions. And Angel, whether she wanted to admit it or not, was caught in the middle of a ratings grab disguised as roster construction. Now, we don't know exactly what went down behind closed doors, but we can connect the dots. The pressure, the expectations, the real...
This is definitely an attempt to say the views, bro. I mean, Angel Reese ain't what she was. Have y'all not seen the Angel Reese podcast reviews? I mean, it ain't what it was, bro. I just hate to be the bearer of...
realization that she wasn't being valued as an athlete, but as a marketing tool to boost viewership numbers. That has to mess with your head. When you're supposed to be focused on basketball, but instead you're being treated like a chess piece in someone else's business strategy. At some point you have to ask yourself if this is really what you signed up for. But the unrivaled situation is just one piece of the puzzle. Let's talk about the WNBA itself. Because if Angel Reese is walking away from the league entirely, not just taking a season off, but saying, I am done with this league, then we need to examine...
A bad news, but I don't believe Angel Reese is going to help save ratings like that, bro. I really don't. It's a clear attempt to save ratings. And for whatever reason, they pulling out all the...
What pushed her to that breaking point? The WNBA just came off what everyone called a historic 2024 season. Record viewership, sold-out arenas, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese driving unprecedented attention to the league, expansion teams being awarded, new broadcast deals being negotiated. On paper, everything looks great. But if you're actually in the league, if you're one of the players generating all that attention and revenue, are you seeing the benefits? Or are you watching other people profit off your talent while you're still fighting for basic respect and compensation? Let's be real about the economics here. WNBA players make a fraction of what their male counterparts earn. Everyone knows this. The standard response is always about revenue differences, market size, all the usual justifications. But when your league is experiencing record growth, when you personally are one of the faces driving that growth, and you're still not seeing that reflected in your paycheck or your treatment, that's going to create resentment. Angel Reese was one of the biggest names in women's basketball. Her rivalry with Caitlin Clark was appointment television. And yet, the financial reality of being a WNBA player probably didn't match the cultural impact she was creating. That disconnect wears on you. Then there's the mental health aspect that nobody wants to address. Angel Reese was subjected to an insane amount of scrutiny, criticism, and straight-up hate from the moment she stepped into the spotlight. Some of it was basketball related. A lot of it wasn't. The comparisons to Caitlin Clark became toxic. Every game was dissected. Every stat was weaponized. Social media turned into a battleground where fans weren't just supporting their favorite players, but actively tearing down the other side. And Angel, being the personality she is, didn't back down. She embraced the villain role when people tried to paint her that way. But here's the thing about playing the villain. It's exhausting. It takes a toll. And eventually, you start to wonder if the cost is worth it. We saw her start to pull back. The quietness we mentioned earlier. The toned-down image. That wasn't growth. That was self-preservation. That was someone trying to protect themselves from the constant barrage of negativity while still trying to perform at the highest level. And maybe, just maybe, She looked around and realized that the league she was sacrificing her mental health for wasn't actually protecting her, wasn't standing up for her, wasn't creating an environment where she could thrive without being consumed by the toxicity. So she made a choice. She chose herself. And honestly, can you blame her? Now, let's talk about what this means for the WNBA moving forward. Because Angel Reese resigning isn't just a loss of one player. It's a warning sign. If the league can't retain one of its brightest young stars, someone who should be building a decade-plus career in women's basketball, then what does that say about the state of the league? What does it say about the support systems in place for players? What does it say about the sustainability of the current model? The WNBA has been celebrating its growth, and rightfully so. But growth means nothing if you're burning out your talent in the process. If players are choosing to walk away rather than continue under the current conditions, then the league has a serious problem that no amount of record viewership can fix. And here's the uncomfortable question that everyone's avoiding. How many other players are feeling the same way but haven't said it out loud yet? How many are grinding through the season, putting on a smile for the cameras, but privately questioning whether this is sustainable? Angel Reese might be the first major name to publicly resign with that kind of definitive statement, but I guarantee you she's not the only one thinking about it. The league needs to wake up and realize that you can't just ride the Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese wave forever. You actually have to take care of your players. You have to create an environment where they want to stay, where they feel valued, where they're compensated fairly, where their mental health is prioritized. And right now, based on Angel's decision, they're failing. Let's also address the unrivaled angle again, because this ties into the bigger picture. The fact that a league specifically designed to give WNBA players better opportunities during the off-season is also struggling speaks volumes. Unrivaled was supposed to be the answer. Domestic play, good money, no need to go overseas and risk injury or burnout. But their viewership numbers are tanking. They're resorting to desperate mid-season roster moves to generate buzz. And now Angel Reese, who was their inaugural MVP, wants nothing to do with basketball at all. That should terrify everyone involved in women's basketball because it suggests the problem isn't just one league or one situation. It's systemic. It's the entire ecosystem that needs to be reevaluated. Think about the position Angel was in. She had options. She could have gone overseas and made serious money. She could have focused on her podcast and other business ventures. She could have taken a year off and come back refreshed. But instead, she said no to all of it. I am done with this league. That's not someone who's burned out and needs a break. That's someone who's fundamentally disillusioned with the entire structure of professional women's basketball. And that should be a 5-alarm fire for the WNBA, for Unrivaled, for everyone who claims to care about the growth of the sport. So where does this leave us? Angel Reese is gone. The WNBA just lost one of its most marketable stars. Unrivaled is scrambling to survive without one of the players who made their inaugural season relevant. And fans are left wondering what could have been done differently. Could the league have supported her better? Could they have addressed the mental health toll earlier? Could they have created an environment where a 23-year-old superstar didn't feel like walking away was her best option? These aren't rhetorical questions. These are things that need answers, because if the WNBA doesn't learn from this, they're going to keep losing talent. And eventually, there won't be enough Caitlin Clarks in the world to carry the league on their backs. Angel Reese's resignation is a tragedy for women's basketball, not because she's making the wrong choice for herself, but because the system failed her so badly that this was the choice she had to make. A player of her caliber, at her age, with her potential, should be building a legacy right now. Instead, she's walking away, and the league is left to pick up the pieces and pretend like everything's fine. But it's not fine. And until the WNBA, until Unrivaled, until everyone involved in women's basketball starts prioritizing the well-being of their players over ratings and revenue, we're going to see more Angel Reeses, more talented athletes who look at the cost of staying and decide it's not worth it. The question now is whether anyone with power is actually listening, or if they're just going to wait for the next controversy to blow over so they can get back to business as usual. Because if it's the latter, women's basketball is in serious trouble. And Angel Reese's resignation might just be the beginning of a much bigger exodus that nobody's ready for. This is the reckoning, and the clock is ticking.